And pretend I'm in tune. Hello, everybody. What?
You're in tune.
Oh, yeah, I just pretend. Call me a cab. You're a cab. No. Welcome to the Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with the guitar, and they call me on the phone and say, "Hey, man, what's your show about anyway?" I say, "Well, it's about an hour. It's about guitars, guitar players, guitar playing, all things guitaristic." So if you want to call me on the phone, and the number does appear on the screen occasionally, there it is. Ask me a question about,
But only if it's Tuesday.
only if it's Tuesday. But if you want to ask a question about how to play the guitar, the care and feeding of your guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you, want to talk about a related topic like the guitarrón, the guitarra, the sitar, uds, vihuelas, banjos, balaicas, bazookies, chitoles, bajos, sextos, cavaquinhos, cuatros, ukuleles, banjolims, and mandolins, bandoras, bandolas, bandurias, anything you can pluck on, Pipe organs, piccolos, ocarinas, accordions, clarinets, clavinets, clavinovas, harpsichords and harmoniums and harmonicas, auto harps and pixie harps, Irish harps, and concert harps, trumpets, trombones, trombomarinas. I mean, anything musical. Pan pipes, zithers and xylophones. You wanted to say that, didn't you?
Yep.
And Bob's back, But, or anything else, politics, world events, your own personality problems. But just keep it clean. It's a family program. I still think it was years ago, but when Phil was working on the show and somebody called in asking for dating advice. I thought that was pretty funny,
Did Phil have any?
I don't know, not really. I mean, I think Phil's been a few.
Yeah, people who think we're old, we're younger than Phil.
Yeah. Well, Phil went on dates and stuff in the 1940s.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So his dating message was dated.
Dated, yes. But I'm, if I want to date, I just ask my wife. It's a lot easier that way than, asking other women. I mean, just thinking. It's
Yeah, wives have very little sense of humor about that.
I suppose, yeah. I don't really date outside my marriage. Because it's very expensive, in the long run. Anyway, so this is a classical guitar month around here in Tom's Guitar Show, except that I've done the wrong thing in many ways. One thing that I've done is I have brought nothing but electric guitars and solid body electric guitars at that, very far from the classical guitar thing. There was a young man he still might show up, but there is a young fellow who's supposed to come on my show and play a couple of pieces by Bach, or Bach, if you're a purist. Bach. But I guess he couldn't make it. I was so in such a hurry I couldn't check my email when I got home because I had to teach up at Co. But the semester is nearing an end. May 4th is jury day, when the students have to get up and perform in front of not a jury of their peers, but the faculty, the string faculty. And I'll be there. I have a background in strings, I can play violin.
Oh, you have strings in front of you.
That's right. Well, yeah, guitar, but...
I guess you are the background for those strings.
Yeah, the strings are in front. I'm the background. But yeah, so I started the violin when I was a little kid. I have a violin at home, and I can play it rather badly. And then I have a cello, and I can play that, not quite as badly. And I have a string bass, which I think I'm a mediocre string bass player, which when you think about it, that's a great accomplishment. I'm employable. You could actually put together a band of some sort, or maybe a little string, ensemble, and you could hire me to be your bass player, and I'd actually, get the job done. I wouldn't be, I'm not going to win any auditions for the Chicago Symphony or anything like that, but I'm a mediocre bass player, string bass. Bass guitar, I feel like I'm free, I can do what I want. But anyway, so what I'm nattering on about is, I'll have to sit there and watch all the college kids, sawing away their violins and their cellos and stuff, and might be a harp player there somewhere, but and then my students, of course, will have to do their thing, and so anyway, so after that, I'm going to leave, and too bad I don't drink, because I think after that you should have a really stiff drink, like a fifth of scotch, but
A fifth.
yeah.
Actually, these days that's 750 milliliters.
Is that, yeah? Do they do fifths anymore? Or?
No, they've
went-
all gone metric.
They've all gone metric, okay. Shows you what I know.
Liters replaced the quarts, and 750s replaced the fifths.
I see. You probably still get a liter of scotch if you know where to shop.
Oh, yeah.
Because that'd be better than 750 after jury day at the Co-College.
A liter is 1,000.
Yeah, I know, yeah. A milliliter is 1,000th of a liter. Anyway, never mind. So anyway, my story, I'm going to continue my narrative on boring people. They've changed the channels, by now. But this year...
Well, I often think that people only see us when they're channel surfing during commercials on the other channels anyway.
Say, oh, there's a guitar guy. Click, on the next one. Anyway, so, but anyway, so this here is a Fender Stratocaster. It's a Mexican Strat, made in Mexico.
The famous classical guitar.
Yeah, famous classical guitar. This is a white one, of course, which is Jimi Hendrix played a white Strat. I figure if it's good enough for Jimmy, it's good enough for me. But so I might have kind of picked this one up yesterday, and I'll play this for a bit. What I'm doing, and it might be of some interest to the guitar nerds out there, is this is a stock condition. It's in excellent condition. I got it used at a reasonable price, and I guess I'm going to have to pay it off, over the next few weeks. But it's fairly. I go to the musician's pro shop, and you can rent to own. But what it ends up, if you've been there for a while, it ends up with you I just whenever I go in there, I just leave some money behind. And I have no idea where my account is because I've actually sold them a bunch of stuff that I'm not using anymore. The other people have actually bought. My 12-string electric guitar, which I actually liked, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. And I may sell this baritone guitar I'm going to play later, which I also bought there used, and then wait for the baritone guitar of my dreams to come. But anyway, so you can pay things off over time and without interest or whatever, 90 days. You could rent to own, so you put a third down, and then anyway. So I got this one yesterday, and I'm going to play it in a second, but I just want to, and I'll continue this narrative for all the channel surfers, but so I got this one on Friday, and what this was, I was going in between guitar shops because I was going up to West Music looking for the mixer of my dreams. I want a small mixer for one of my audio. See, last week's show didn't work out very well in an audio way, and what I needed was a small mixer. And I have one, but it's finicky, and I wanted another one, very small mixer, to plug into amplifiers. But but I went to the pawn shop, and this one here, and this was a very low price. It was really dirty, and it didn't sound very good at all. But I figured out what was going on, so I made them an offer, a lower offer, and then I ended up paying less for it with a darn credit card, which is, wrong. You should pay as you go. But this is it's all, but I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's a very dark red with mother of pearl inlay all around, and I just whacked it. Not a mark on it.
There wasn't a mark on it.
It wasn't. Anyway, this is a Schecter Hellraiser. So this is like a shredder guitar, but I can play my, dare I say, smooth jazz on it. My elevator music on it. I played this on Saturday night at my gig, and it was great. But I put a new battery in it because it has active electronics. It has EMG
What
pickups.
gig is that?
Oh, I was Tuscan Moon, but.
That's a restaurant in Kelowna, right?
That's right. But I almost whacked it again. I won't be there this week. I'll be at the. I'm playing a party. I believe I'm playing a party on Saturday night, a private party, which usually pays pretty well, to tell you the truth. And then I'll be on Friday night. I'm actually playing at the Brick Arch Winery in West Branch.
Oh,
From like 6 or so, or 6:30 until whenever. So you can have wine and food. But anyway, so my boring narrative. So I offered the guys, money. I got the guitar. I took it home. I put a new battery in it, and that solved all the problems because the battery was dead, and it was really, really dirty. Like it was like covered with dust and smudgy, greasy fingerprints. Like maybe I think people go to Taco Tuesday or the all-you-can-eat taco bar or something like that, and then they
play with the guitar.
they like admire them. So. And I like to think I have good personal hygiene. But anyway, so I shined it all up. It took me like 40 minutes of elbow grease. I took all the strings off. I polished the fingerboard with lemon oil. I took the guitar polish and different cloths, and I rubbed and scrubbed it, and I got all so nice, shiny, clean, and put new strings on it, the kind of gauge that I like, and heavier gauge so I can play more like a classical guitarist. And it's been great. So I got that one. And then, of course, a couple weeks ago or so or less, I bought that a G&L, which I brought on the show, red G&L ASAT Deluxe, which has 2 humbuckers and a splitter. It's like a fancy. So I've bought 3. I hope my wife never sees this. I've bought 3 electric guitars in like less than 2 weeks, I think. And so, and I found creative ways to pay for them.
Yeah.
So. And some guy was just telling me about his nephew who was a heroin addict and how he would, con people and steal and like his mother got him a mobile home to live in, rented him one, and then all the stuff, like all the appliances were missing from it, when he finally got kicked out because he'd sold everything.
To get heroin.
Anything he can get a hold of, phones, whatever, everything he can con, he will immediately pawn or sell. So it makes me think when I buy guitars at the pawn shop, I wonder, what their history is. And I think they check to make sure they're not stolen. But anyway, so anyway, I'm going to continue my narrative for just a second, and then I'm going to get back into I'm just going to play for a while because I know I'm talking too much. But this guitar, it's a nice guitar, but it has the stock pickups. And without the humdebugger, it's not bad, but you can hear it hum. At home, it's pretty bad, actually. But with the humdebugger on it, takes that away.
Yes.
So it works pretty well. But what I want to do, I'm probably going to do, is replace these with lace sensor pickups. Because each lace sensor comes with, they have these different colors. The printing on them are different colors. They have your gold, your silver, your blue, your light blue, your purple, your burgundy, green, or emerald green. And all these colors mean something as far as how they're, what they are inside, the sounds they produce. So I have one guitar which I got at the pawn shop some time ago, actually, which has 3 lace sensors, different colors on them, and I've had it on the show a couple of times. I love that guitar. These are very quiet. They don't pick up the hum, from the room, and it's really cool. It's been retrofitted onto that guitar. So I like that so much that I've ordered 3 more for another Strat that I've had for quite a while, which I really kind of like, and I've had it on the show many times. kind of a natural wooden colored Strat. But instead of having a white pickguard, I'm going to have a black pickguard and 3 black lace sensor pickups with different colored printing on them, different pickups. And then maybe even I bought 3 Seymour Duncan noiseless pickups that I put on another Strat that I've had on the show a few times, which is one of my noisier ones, also Mexican Strat. And it might be done now because the pickups finally came in. So I'm waiting for the other pickups to come in. So now I'm thinking, wow, what could I put on this? I was thinking, well, the emerald ones are for that Texas sound, like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I say, okay. And then and there's the gold ones which sound like the 50s, with the 50s chime to them. So, well, I could put one of those on maybe. Yeah. Or maybe I should get 3 gold ones. Or maybe I should just do another rainbow combination of ones I don't have. Because there's sometimes I think, well, maybe I should put one that I already have, I put it in a different location, because each location is going to sound different too. Because down here it's more, and here it's more. So the pickup down here, and these are probably pretty much the same pickup, but that's the bridge pickup. This is the middle pickup. This is the neck pickup. And then you can mix them. You can have 2 of these and 2 of these. So anyway, each one of these Stratocasters will have a very different voice. That's my plan. I don't know what. I could just have like the one guitar. The thing with Tommy Castro, for many years he played one guitar. He played a 1960s vintage black Stratocaster, a little beat up, through a 1960s vintage Fender amp with no effects. He just turned everything up really loud. Yeah. And played blues and sang, And then he, after like so many thousands of gigs that way, he decided to play Gibson instead. But just the one guitar, And I heard that when Jackson Browne was here at the Englert, he had like 35 guitars or something on stage, and he kept playing different ones. So I like to be somewhere in between, So I don't know. Anyway, so that's my story. I'll play that other guitar in a minute, and then I'm going to play that baritone guitar. I have to decide whether I want to sell that or not. I kind of want to sell it, but then I pick it up and I think it's cool. But anyway, hang on a second. I'm just going to try a little live looping here. Let me see if I can.
Maybe we should mention that next Tuesday, which will be the 28th, we will be upstairs at Uptown Bill's Coffee House at the corner of South Dubuque and Lafayette.
That's right.
And people are welcome to come and see the show being made.
And that show will be nothing like this show. It'll be classical guitarists, other people playing. And perhaps you'll bring some words of wisdom for us to share.
I will certainly try to.
Okay. We only have that one classical guitar player joke, but which I won't tell here because I don't want to spoil it. But actually, the guy who might have been here tonight told me that joke, the young fella. But I think he looked it up on his phone when we had a classical guitar show last year.
And our director should probably have something to say to us next week.
Unless he's busy down here, but... Okay, I was going to play, but I'm going to tune. I'm sorry. What if I just keep talking and never play anything? Sorry. Here's a cool thing you can do with a tuning fork on an electric guitar. See? That's what I hear in my head. So you can do a lot with a Stratocaster. I'm very fond of my Stratocaster collection. So I've been made aware of a new reality here that Renee Payne, our former director, should we call her the Queen of the Pooch Palace?
Sure.
Yeah, she lives up there. Well, she's up there about your direction, up there in Solon Way, isn't she? Up there, isn't that around there, Solon somewhere, the Pooch Palace? Out in the country, but near.
Not familiar with it.
Oh well, you don't have a dog to board. It's like luxury dog boarding services. So.
No, my wife collects cats, and we take them with us.
Okay. Well, who says you can't take it with you when you go? Anyway, Renee. The dog thing is actually, and cats are completely off the subject, although, dogs and cats are never too far from my consciousness. But apparently she has bought for PATV a 3/4-inch U-matic tape deck.
Oh.
And for those of you who, aren't an old-timer like me, the 3/4-inch was the standard of analog tape. It's a great, big, fat cassette.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know if maybe it'd be too much trouble on the show this week, but apparently back there they have some the Tom's Guitar Show from 2000, a 15-year-old Tom's Guitar Show, and I have a bunch of old shows tucked away, and I've been wanting to digitize them and put them in some sort of other medium because I've been looking around for a 3/4-inch deck, and nobody seems to have one anymore. But now we have one here at PATV. So, I mean, I was thinking about doing a documentary. So, I mean, like, what did Tom's Guitar Show look like in, like, 1994? Things like that. Or, for that matter, what did it look like in 1990 when I did the original Tom's Guitar Show, which was half-hour programs. So, I mean, like, I've been, wasn't there a Joni Mitchell line, one of her songs, I gave you all my pretty years, I think. Well, I'm sorry, that's not accurate, but...
Well, Mac Davis said, rock and roll, I gave you all the best years of my life.
That's right. Well, PATV, I gave you all the best years of my life. Anyway, actually, I was thinking maybe those best years are yet to come.
Yeah, I was hoping I hadn't seen the best years yet.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Which reminds me, I was talking to one of the Night Stalkers at Hy-Vee, who's a bit of a philosopher and maybe a bit of a comedian, but I think one of the guys who straightens out the cans of soup late at night. And I've been reading about the near-death experience, and basically it's what your brain goes through and it shuts down. They've done it to managed to do it to rats and lab rats. They kill them slowly, and their brains fire up, and I guess their whole rat lives flash before their eyes. And that's just how your brain, when it loses touch with your body and runs out of oxygen, it shuts down. But all these things come out to the surface, And so I was saying, because nobody can really. There are a lot of ideas about an afterlife, but there's no so far there's no evidence for it. I used to think that maybe that near-death experience, that last going down the tunnel was like a porthole to the other side, but we know that that's not necessarily true. There's no, I mean, it's very more likely that that's what your brain does. It's a dream you have while you're dying.
Right.
So so I was interested in this, and I was talking to him about it, and he's there on his knees, straightening things there at Hy-Vee, and he's my age, maybe older, I don't know. He's on the graveyard shift, stocking shelves, and he said, "I don't want my life to flash before my eyes when I die." See, because I guess his life was such that he didn't want to relive it.
Not things he wants to do again.
That's right. See, and I would be, because there's also this other theory that there's like a time dilation, so that those last few minutes, as you're dying or dead, could seem like they last for several years. Yeah. It could be a very long experience. And somebody made a movie about that. I think it's, what do they say? Not What Dreams May Come or something. Maybe it's What Dreams May. It's like a semi-animated movie about about somebody who's going through these strange experiences. It turns out this is his death experience, and and then in the end he's like going up, It's sort of thing where they had live actors, but they would color their faces and stuff like that. So, an interesting movie. But so I just thought that was funny. I don't want to relive my life. So anyway, I don't know what I got on that. Why did I get on that? Well, yeah,
I just wanted to say that life review really isn't part of the near-death experience. That's what happens before you go unconscious.
Oh.
Like, say, if you're careening down the highway and a semi's coming at you in those couple of seconds, that's when you have the life review. It's never been part of the near-death experience.
Oh,
So your friend's lucky because he could guide his thoughts.
Yeah, I see.
Because
Okay.
he'd be awake to be able to do that, distract himself.
Yeah. I suppose, yeah. My whole life flashed before my eyes, yeah. Never mind, I was going to tell some funny anecdotes, but I'm talking too much, and I was about to say something even stupider than what I said before. So anyway, hang on. Here we go. Turn off the volume. So anyway, this is my my new Strat, and I guess I want to put lace sensor pickups on it. I don't know if I will or not. That's another. That's something else. But actually, I'm waiting for a set of 3 lace sensor pickups for another Mexican-made Stratocaster. And I'm waiting at any moment because the pickups are the Seymour Duncan noiseless pickups, which of course are a whole different sound altogether, that maybe even as we speak may have been installed on this guitar for me. So whether or not I get around to this one, I may have another Stratocaster in line. There's one I could pick up at any moment, and there's no one that's in line, and I also have a hollow body that I want to put an Alumatone pickup on. It's an old-fashioned hollow body guitar I've had in the show many times. Which is not in tune. But anyway, my ambition there is to, where's my pitchfork? That's an old man thing, having too much stuff in your pockets. But now young fellas do too, because they have all kinds of electronic devices in there. I have a flashlight, a pocket knife, a tuning fork. Things like,
Well, young guys wear those cargo pants with lots of pockets.
yeah. Are they, I still do that as I go out of style. I think see these guys wearing skinny jeans. I was actually working with a guy, one of my students, college boys up there at the college. Oh boy. And he had like really skinny jeans, but he had a phone and a bunch of other stuff in his pockets, and he had to remove his stuff from his pockets so he could play his guitar. So I thought, plus ça change.
Needs to carry one of those man purses.
Yeah, there you go. Bring back the fanny pack. Isn't it time yet, or? Yeah. I used to have a fanny pack, and it's kind of a handy thing to have, but then it went out of style, and then you were like considered like a real, idiot if you wore one. I still wore mine for a while, though, after that, because I'm a rebel, But so it was in tune at home. I'm just going to stretch them out a little bit. So this is a top-of-the-line Schecter Hellraiser. It's kind of too bad that my church gig ended the Sunday before I got this guitar. I mean, they went out of business, and the reverend there has moved on to Mason City. I hope to play a concert actually in his church, because it's the church that Meredith Willson went to when he was growing up there in Mason City. The guy who wrote The Music Man. But anyway, so I just, it's too bad that my church gig is over, because it would be just fun to play a Hellraiser, in church. So, just, I think that really the important thing is your narrative. getting your story. That's what we do as a species, the Paleolithic days, or Neolithic when language is, pretty good. As a species, we'd sit around and fire at night and tell stories, So if you had a life review, you get to see your whole story. Well, some of the features of this guitar, besides the mother of pearl inlay and the dark red kind of curly maple top, and the fact it's a little heavier than the other one is that it has, instead of 22 frets, it has 24 frets. And everybody knows that there are 12 semitones to the octave. So this is an E, so 12 frets higher is an E, and 12 frets above that. So this one actually goes a whole step higher than an ordinary electric guitar. So that's a pretty high note, see? And now it's mine. Yeah, see, I can. So that's kind of cool. Another thing it has is what you call coil taps. So these are EMG pickups, and I've seen them around. It's good for shredding. There's a 9-volt battery in this guitar, which is one of the first things I did was I changed that battery and brought it to life. So that means there's a preamp in the guitar, and this is the only regular electric guitar I have with a. Sorry, I did it again, man. This was siesta time. I should have this show at some other time. Anyway, this is the only straight ahead magnetic electric guitar. Like I showed you earlier, if I want to, if I can find my pitchfork here, I can. I'm just hovering my tuning fork over the pickup. It's not the vibration of the string against the bridge that makes this sound like it does with an acoustic guitar. This acoustic guitar is like an air pump, it's a box, and the air vibrates the top, and the air goes in and out really fast, and you create these pressure waves, which is what we think of as sound. And then the acoustic electric guitar is an acoustic guitar that has a piezo pickups, or take the vibration of the string and using some quartz crystal technology, the vibration turns into an electrical signal, and that goes in the amplifier. These are magnetic pickups. So these metal strings, which are ferrous metal, they vibrate over the pickup, and they disturb the magnetic field caused by this pickup, which is has a magnet in it, magnet and copper coil. And there are many different designs of these pickups. This is an active pickup, so there's actually a preamp built into it, and it requires a 9-volt battery. And I have active electronics on my two, my 3-bass guitars that I have, actually. I have a kind of a weird stick bass. It's passive. But my Fender Jazz and my Fender Stu Ham bass. Stu Ham, does that make you hungry? That's the guy's name. It's a for you bass free. I'm gonna do a bass show here, not next week, because next week Tom's Guitar Show is going to be upstairs at Uptown Bill's Coffee House, 6 o'clock on Tuesday, corner of South Dubuque and Lafayette, down by the tracks, to have a classical guitar extravaganza. There'll be a number of concertizers.
And there's a big university parking lot across the street that's open after 4:30.
Yeah, so there should be no problem getting parking, and then you can have a cup of coffee if you want. They have various pastries and things, and I think even you can get a bratwurst if you want from the back room.
Ice cream.
Ice cream, yeah. Don't order a milkshake. Well, this concert's going. Nothing that uses a blender. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about the
Classical music next week.
Yeah, classical music next week. But that was actually a diversion from what I was talking about. I think I was nattering something about the pickups on this guitar. Yeah. Oh well, maybe it wasn't important. What was I doing?
If it was, you'll think of it again.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, I want to get onto okay. Yeah, passive versus active, and I was kind of getting through that. So this one has a preamp in it. The other thing this one has, this is what my main point was, though. This is where getting way back to the beginning of this whole, you should call it mind surfing, where you
Stream of consciousness.
Well, you ride the wave in, And anyway, but the thing about this one is it has coil taps. So these are double coil pickups, which means that I don't have my humdybugger on. It doesn't make any humming noise because there are two pickups, together going, facing each other, so they cancel the noise. They're also kind of loud. But also the volume knobs here are push-pull. So if you pull it out, you get a single coil. So this sounds like this. I push it in. Actually, that's why it's backwards. Here's a single coil mode. Here's a double coil mode. And this one. That's a single coil. It's double coil. So I can actually have one be single and one be double, and then put the two together, and I have this. Right? Or I could do the other way around. And without any splitting, it sounds like fuller. With them both split, it sounds like. So it's thinner. It's more like a Strat or Telecaster sound. The other thing I don't understand about this is normally this, this knob goes to this pickup and that knob goes to this pickup. This backwards. And I don't know if this was somebody customized it that way or if it came that way. I don't know what to think. Anyway, it's a shredder guitar, but I've never actually played it distorted. I've always played it just as a oh yeah. Wrong knob. Here we go. I've always played this guitar as a always. I've only had it since Friday, and I've only played it out of the house once. But I'm playing this sort of stuff that I normally do, which some people might call smooth jazz. Which I think it's funny because like jazz players just hate smooth jazz. On one of my YouTube videos, I call it elevator jazz to try to, not get a lot of hatred, because Kenny G was the pinnacle of smooth jazz at a certain era, and a lot of jazz musicians really hate Kenny G. They think that he's ruined music for everybody. So, I'm not a critic, I just try to play it. All right, I want to give this one a chance here. A little dusty, aren't we? Okay, this is a baritone guitar. And the thing about baritone guitars is a fourth lower than a guitar. There's also a thing called an alto guitar, which is a fourth higher than a regular guitar. The guitar that I'm playing there is considered a tenor in a guitar consort, although a tenor guitar is actually a tenor banjo strung four-string guitar, but in some other people's minds that's a tenor guitar. This is a baritone, so it's actually just I'm a little worried that I'm destroying this amp with this low guitar. I don't know what's going wrong, but I know I only have a couple minutes left. 2 minutes left. So I'm going to switch over to the Stratocaster again. Because I know it's safe. Anyway, I think a baritone guitar is really cool. I'm not sure if I want to own that one. I mean, it's not that bad or anything like that. It's just like, I think I want something more like a Stratocaster in a baritone. Well, anyway, next week upstairs, Uptown Bill's Coffee House, there'll be a big classical guitar blowout. I hope. See who shows up. Which people is going to show up and play classical guitar? So be there. Free entertainment. You have a cup of coffee. Exotic soda pop. Cookies. Fun for the whole family. 6 o'clock Tuesday, April 28th, 2015. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, you know, in 2020, you missed it.